More than 30 arrested in Spokane in one night at the ICE protest yesterday. We have the latest from their court proceedings today at 5.
Hot and windy once again across the inland northwest, but as we head into the weekend, everything calms down.
What do we want? Justice! When do we want it? Now!
In Spokane, residents clashed with police last night following the detainment of 2 asylum seekers by ICE in Spokane. Tonight we hear from one of the detainees' legal guardians. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Tonight we continue to follow the developing news of an ICE protest in downtown Spokane. Yesterday, community members gathered at the Spokane ICE office to protest the detainment of a 21-year-old Venezuelan man seeking asylum. Last night, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown issued a state of emergency. Law enforcement, in the end, arrested more than 30 people. We have team coverage tonight. Our Regan Gallo is taking a look at how the city and state leaders are responding to the protests. We start, though, with KREM 2's Amanda Rowley right now, as a former city council president was among the protesters arrested last night. Amanda?
Well, Mark. That's right. Well, Mark, we did speak to Ben Stuckert today. He came here to the Spokane KREM 2 News studios. Now, he was released from jail early this morning after organizing the anti-ICE protest. He hoped to leave with 2 young Venezuelan men detained by ICE yesterday. Now, Ben Stuckert says just before he was arrested, he was sitting in front of what he believes was a Border Patrol van. He says Spokane police warned him he would be arrested if he and other protesters didn't move. When asked if he thought his arrest was justified, here's what he told me.
I have heard the question asked, why hold this trial? She already has multiple life sentences. My response is simple. We owe it to those who are victimized and choose to follow the law to
Well, we'll share that in just a little bit. It looks like we're having the wrong video
Sure.
there. But Ben Stuckert did acknowledge that the demonstration did escalate a few times, but Stuckert described it as disciplined and non-violent rather than strictly peaceful.
All right, so you spoke with Stuckert today. We ran the wrong soundbite right there, but he came into the station and you spoke with him.
Yeah.
Kind of what was his message to the community following all this that occurred last night?
Yeah, that's right, Mark. So he says his goal from the beginning has been to stop illegal detainment of members in the community. Now, we also talked to him about being a former elected official, right? He was Spokane's city council president, and he said he wants to use his privilege as such to protect vulnerable people and draw attention to this cause.
Another quick question for you, Amanda. We had some reporting, I think you reported yesterday, about he had kind of a connection to at least one of the people that was detained yesterday. And can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so what Ben Stuckert has explained is 3 weeks ago, he became the legal guardian of one of the 2 young men who were detained. Yesterday was that young man's 21st birthday.
Sure.
So in that time, over the last 3 weeks, Stuckert says he's been going with that young man to ICE check-ins, and he thought that it would be that routine check. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. We'll continue to follow this one. Amanda Rowley, thank you very much. All right. Now over at downtown Spokane, KREM 2's Regan Gallo is joining us now with a look at how city and state leaders are responding to the protest last night. Regan?
Hey Mark, yeah, we are about 24 hours out since the protest started and went into late Wednesday evening. Now we know that local law enforcement had arrested about 30 individuals, both for pedestrian interference as well as criminal damage, And as you can see, I'm just off of North Washington Street right now. This is where the protest kind of started, on this wall where the Homeland Security building is, and it's much cleaner as what we saw last night after law enforcement says smoke and pepper bombs were used to ward off the crowd. And following last night's events, we spoke to Spokane County Sheriff Knowles on the phone, and he says the demonstration was not peaceful after cars' tires were slashed and protesters were not letting employees leave the Homeland Security building.
When they surrounded vehicles and they started slashing tires of both rented vehicles and vehicles that belong to government agencies, that's not peaceful. That's not demonstrating. That's committing crimes. It's unlawful.
As we continue to cover the protest today, I was in Superior Court where 2 protesters were held last night in Spokane County Jail after what court documents show they were partaking in unlawful imprisonment. Now, according to Spokane County Sheriff Knowles, unlawful imprisonment is a felony charge. He says that this was taking place where protesters, like I said, were not letting employees leave the Homeland Security building. Today in court, both individuals were released from custody without bail by Commissioner Tony Rugel, and arraignment dates for both individuals will be June 25th. Now, as last night's demonstrations continue to still unfold, where there's still a lot to learn, as we continue to get more information, we will, of course, give our viewers more information as we get it. This is a developing story. I'm reporting here in downtown Spokane. Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
Regan, thank you very much. Let's shift gears and talk weather on this Thursday with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo. He is joining us from the Outdoor Weather Center. Jeremy, each day it seems this week just gets a bit cooler, and today is certainly no exception. It feels a lot better, in my opinion, than it did on Monday.
Yeah, you know, an hour ago I was standing out here, Mark, and you asked how it felt, and I said, oh, it's kind of brutal, but I had a suit coat on and a tie on, and I haven't had either of those outside all week long. I ditched the suit coat, and 79 feels quite nice. It's a nice reprieve from some of that heat we saw earlier this week, but wind's still kicking up and it's still bringing in a little bit of dust and a little bit of wildfire smoke from fires burning all the way down in northern Oregon. So for us, it's far away, but it's still having an impact. Next few hours, wind dies down, but notice we hang on to it through about 9 p.m. Very similar to what we saw yesterday. Sun goes down, wind dies down, and this time it is different. As that sun dies down, everything calms in the atmosphere. Temperatures still sitting near 80 degrees across the region, so let's talk what's going on. We're getting that advection, that southerly, southwesterly advection of air coming in from where we do have some wildfires, but that's all it's bringing for now. A little bit of a disturbance slides through early tomorrow morning. That will bring some clouds and showers down to the south. Those are short-lived and move out without anyone noticing. Big story here is going to be the clouds on Father's Day. I think we wind up seeing a little more than even what our graphic suggests. It's one of those ones where I don't have to fully commit, so I'm going to say a mix of clouds and sun on Father's Day. Unfortunately, it might trend more toward mostly cloudy. But either way, we're near 80 degrees each day with nice cool nights down near 50 each night.
President Trump blocks a measure to phase out gas-powered vehicles. I'm Erica Brown at the White House with more on that and the push to pass the president's spending bill.